Guys, so I've just been trying to use up some book pages and some fabric, so I thought I'd make some floral fabric envelopes. So they're nice and easy. These are just some of the ones I've made. Aren't they cute? I love this fabric. It's my favourite. So I thought I would just pop on and show you how to make them. I mean, they're very simple, but I know we all have different ways of doing things, and I thought I would just show you my way. Okay, so that's some of the fabric I've used. I will have packs of these available in my Etsy shop. But I'll show you all the completed ones at the end of the video. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is cut some book pages. Now these I've just pulled out of an old book, The Springs of Adventure, Wilfred Noyce. I've actually read this. I don't know anyone else that would read it. It was kind of in bad nick, so I'm happy to pull it apart. Had some great black and white pictures in it as well, which I will also reuse. Where's the rest? I've thrown them aside somewhere. So this was one of their expeditions in the book. Pretty good book actually. So I'll reuse all of these pictures. And the cover's not too bad as well once the dust jacket's off. So I'll reuse that as well. Nice blue cover. And I've just ripped these out. I haven't pulled it apart properly. Then all I do have a guillotine, but to be honest, I find it quicker just to grab. When I'm only doing a few pages, I just grab my roller cutter. Now I don't measure these, so all of them, sometimes they're slightly different sizes, but that's okay. I don't mind. They don't need to be all the same size. Now I do, when I fold and use these, I will quickly have a quick look just to make sure that on the envelope, just when you open the envelope up, that there's nothing bad here, because you know sometimes you get swear words and I don't know. This book had a few stories about seasickness and stuff like that as well in it, because they're on a boat. So, you know, I don't want those showing, even though it's on the inside of the envelope. I don't know. They're pretty floral envelopes, so I don't want it to be anything too gruesome on the, even if it is on the inside. Okay, so just chop up a whole bunch of those. Okay, then we'll do some gluing. Okay, now I had already pre-chopped some fabric. So I was going to make 10 packs of envelopes with 10 different fabric envelopes in each pack. So I do need to cut up one more piece of fabric, and I do have this gorgeous fabric. Now if I am cutting something accurately, I will go over to my other desk over there where I've got more room to lay the fabric out, measure and cut. But these, I'm just making simple little envelopes, so I'm not going to cut them exactly to size. So all I do, I pretty much just get a rough estimate of the width or length, either way, and I'll give it a little snip there, and then I'm just going to rip that. Sorry, that's probably really loud and annoying on camera. I used to like do stuff like this in front of the TV, and Darren would be like, stop ripping, he hates that sound. And I'd end up with little fabric and threads everywhere. Okay. So, done it that way, and then I just either I'll use my roller blade and just cut it, or just give it a quick snip. But I'm not making the fabric the exact size of the page, because when you sew it, it moves about. So just do you know, roughly, and then you trim it down later. So I'm not going to cut all of them. I'll just show you roughly. So you don't need to be neat and accurate. So now I'll just chop 10 of these to size, then I'll be back. Okay, so now we've just got to glue the fabric to our paper. So the paper I'm using, it's quite thick. This was out of an old book from the 60s, I think, but it's quite thick, but it's not brittle, so if you fold it, it's not going to break. And I've already checked that there's nothing nothing naughty. No swear words or anything on the at least on the top portion. The rest will be covered. This will be the little piece that shows, so as long as there's nothing up that top bit. I'm just using any old glue stick. I was using one of these, but I've run out, so I'm just going to use this one, which I normally use for paper. It's quite good for paper, but it's not very good fabric with paper, but it's all I've got at the moment, so it'll do. And you're not actually going to glue it down anyway. You're just kind of gluing the fabric to the paper just to tack it on long enough to hold it in place to sew. It also helps, I suppose, iron the wrinkles out of the fabric. I never iron my fabric before using it, so. But this one, it's very sticky for paper, but not that sticky for the fabric. But that's okay. It's still working okay. So just get my fabric. I don't worry about alignment or anything. You know, I'm not trying to center the picture on the fabric on a certain part of the envelope. So you'll find that when you use the glue stick, when you stick it down, it comes up quite nice and smooth. See, it doesn't hold it down fully. You just want to hold it long enough to sew. But if you want, you can sew the fabric straight to the paper. You don't need to do this gluing step. I just find it's easier. And I do find that it does take the wrinkles out of the fabric. Let me show you one maybe. I don't really have one. Actually, this fabric's not too wrinkly. I was also thinking of embellishing the envelopes as well, but I'm not sure yet. I'll see how I go at the end. I don't want to do too much to them because I want them to be affordable in my little Etsy. And Oh, this one I've ripped. Oh, this one I'll just make a smaller envelope. Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on them because I want them to be affordable in my little Etsy shop. Also, I think a lot of the floral fabric, like, they're quite busy. The pattern is quite busy, so if you put something on them, sometimes they look too much. I don't know. Maybe I'll put a little bit of lace under the flap of the envelope. I don't know. We'll see. But sometimes I think it's better for people making junk journals or using these in their junk journals. Sometimes it's better if they just embellish it themselves. Look, isn't that pretty? I like this one because this fabric actually has like a wood grain pattern on it. See that? And when it's glued down to the book page, you can see the writing through the fabric where the wood grain pattern is. Let me show a different one. Also had this fabric. This is really thin and really old. I really love this fabric. Actually, I'll tell you, don't ever buy these glue sticks. If you're in Australia, glue sticks from Coles. They are so crappy. Oh my gosh. I ran out of glue sticks because I go through so many of them. Seriously, I chew through glue sticks so fast. And so when I was down grocery shopping, I thought I'll just grab 2 glue sticks at the supermarket. And I was only gluing paper with them, and they don't even glue paper to paper. They're so crap. I don't know if they're all like that or if it's just those ones that I got have been on the shelf for too long or something, and maybe they've dried out, but they were so crap. I'm going to take them back. I was so annoyed. They weren't that cheap either for a home brand. Oh, I like this one. This fabric is really thin, and so look, you can see the writing through it. I really like that one. Okay, so you get the idea. Glue, 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 glue. Maybe that's, I forgot which side I've checked. Okay, that looks all right. Okay, I'm not going to glue too many. I'll do one more and then I'll go to the sewing machine. You probably don't need this much glue either. I'm just a glueaholic, I think. Oh, it's so sticky on my fingers. I don't like gluey fingers. I've got threads everywhere. See these little threads? Keep them. I'll show you what I do. You've probably seen before. See, isn't that one so pretty? I love that fabric with the book page showing through it. Actually, maybe I should do that fabric with music paper or some script paper. I do have some old book pages with script. I think that would look a lot nicer. Okay, so glue those babies down, and when you've got a nice big pile of them, they don't take that long to dry either. Okay, so I'm going to move you over to my sewing machine and show you what I do next with them. Okay, so we're at my sewing machine. I hope you can see and hear okay. This may be a bit loud. My new craft room is still a little empty, so I've been told when I'm on the phone talking to someone that my sewing machine is still very loud. So, okay, I'm going to use a very tiny zigzag stitch, and I'll go quite close to the edges. Well, as close as I can go. And I do sew like a little bit of a crazy lady, so now I'm not a proper seamstress, so you probably see me do things you're thinking, what is she doing? Like turning the corners on a zigzag stitch. I like the needle to be on the right hand side when I start in the opposite direction. Well, when I turn a corner and go the other way. See, so the glue holds the fabric in place when you sew, which is quite good. See, turns out quite good. I'll show you in it too. Yeah, my sewing machine has not been happy. It's probably all the rubbish I've sewn over the years. This sewing machine was it's just a cheap little Elna 2000. It's like $80 at Spotlight or something, and yeah, it stood the test of time. I've had it for quite a while. So okay, so little tiny zigzag stitch quite close to the edge, and I'll just sew a whole bunch of these and pile them up, and then I'll fold and trim them at the end. I don't want to bore you any more than you're used to being bored with me, so I'll just sew one more and then we'll get sewing, chopping. I'm a bit blind, well, a lot blind, so I need to stop as I get to the edge, because sometimes if there's not a contrasting colour, I can't see where the edge of the paper is. So this one, the paper is quite similar to the colour of the fabric, so it's a bit hard for me to see. If it were like black and white, or you know, black and orange or something, I could see it fine. Oh, little sewing machine, he's so angry today. I think I need to clean all the fluff and paper and rubbish out from it. So let me just turn you over. Actually, I'm going to sew the rest of these and then I'll come back and we'll trim and fold. Okay, so when you've stitched a whole little bundle, it's just time to trim them down. So I just snip around the sides nice and quick. See, they turn out really nice and they feel feel really nice. The fabric on the paper, it's quite sturdy. It's got a really nice feel to it as well. I mean, you can, you know, put your quilting ruler or something and trim them down with a roller cutter if you want, but I've just been snipping them with the scissors. This is a job I usually do in front of the TV at night. Okay, and so you end up with a pile of these little guys. I just love them. Even like this, I love them. I was thinking of actually making some fabric pages for journals as well, because I think they just look so nice. So pages that are bigger than this, I just think they look and feel so beautiful. Anyway, so you end up with a whole little bundle of these. Look at them, don't they look so delicious? Okay, these little scrappy guys, keep them in your Coles Little Shop basket. My God, if you're in Australia, you know Coles Little Shop. That little promotion is over now, so they've got these stupid little baskets for $1 down at Coles just to get rid of them. And because I've got a lot of little odds and pods in my craft room to sort and put on shelves, I just bought a bunch of them. So they're quite handy. I mean, they're small, they don't fit much, but this little guy was on my desk. It was meant to hold some little ink pads, but yeah, I started throwing fabric in there and now it's full. But we'll find a use for those, and I'll show you some things to do with those in a future video. And also the little threads. You've probably seen this little thread thing before. I keep all the threads, so once you've sewn them, there's these threads. This sits behind my sewing machine, and every time I snip, I just throw them in there. And I know I'm not the only crazy person that does this, because I saw Rayleigh, her channel's Crafts from the Dungeon. I saw that she also does this and uses them as well. So as you can see, I've been doing it for ages. I use these to use in little flowers and all sorts of weird things. I'll show you some projects later, because I haven't shown a lot of the weird stuff I make on my channel. I just don't have time to film and everything, but I'm trying to free up more time, and I'm getting there. Okay, and then I know this probably seems like a really unnecessary way to, like an unnecessary step or way to do things, but this is my way. You can do it your way. I actually sew around the whole page. I know a lot of people, when they make envelopes, sewn envelopes, they will actually fold it and then stitch it. But I want stitching across the top of the envelope here just to reinforce it. And that means that I can either stitch like this, then I would have stitching down the bottom, but not across here, or I can do it in 2 lots. So I can stitch that and then around, which I just can't be bothered. I just find I can sew these really fast, whereas when I have to stop and start like that, yeah, it takes a lot longer. So I'll just move these aside. Plus, I like the look of when it's folded of that. I don't want that stitching along the bottom, really. I don't know. Anyway, but you can stitch them close together like that straight up. You don't have to use the glue. I'm just showing you my way. Okay, so now I just fold them, and I don't measure. I don't care if they're all the same size or not. There's no need for all of these. I mean, if someone specifically asked for certain size envelopes, I would go measuring, but yeah, I don't care. I just wing it. I also don't fold the top part right down to this line. I like to leave a little bit and then fold it over, if you know what I mean. And then I just do a whole bunch of those. Look at this fabric, isn't that so pretty? And this one I like, you can actually see the stamp from a school library underneath. So pretty. And you'll see when I start my sewing, I always start in the bottom right here. So when you fold it up, that's actually going to be hidden because the flap will go over it. Because you don't want the start of your stitching here. Because, you know, when you back stitch, it makes a little darker spot, if you know what I mean. Okay, so I just do a whole bunch of those. Fold, fold, fold. I won't show you anymore. That's pretty basic. And then I just glue them with some tacky glue. I just put a small strip down the sides. You know what I really, really want? I can't find one. I'm going to have to go online and look because I can't find one in the shops around my area. I want one of those glue bottles that has like a needle point, a little metal, really fine tip. And so it puts a really fine strip of glue. I've seen a lot of YouTubers have them and I really want one. I just can't find them. I'm going to have to go online and look for them. Anyway, so I just glue the sides down. So even though they're sewn fabric envelopes, my sides are glued. And that's it. Got loose threads everywhere. And so see how this little flap stays up? All I do is I'll glue all of these and then I'll just stick a heavy book on top. And then just leave them overnight so that the next day, actually let me show you some that have been flattened. So the next day they're really flat. They don't sit up like that. So see, aren't they pretty? I love this fabric. It's gorgeous, gorgeous fabric. And they feel so nice. And you'll get some fraying at the edges because we've got raw edges, but that's okay. I think it makes them look nicer. See how they sit nice and flat once you put a book on top of them for the night. Okay, so I'm going to fold and glue the rest of these and, oh, I've still got some chopping to do. And then I'll come back and show you all of the finished ones and a finished pack. Okay, so I've finished cutting and gluing and folding. I've put them all under a heavy dictionary overnight just so they are flat, so the flap doesn't stick up. And these are the finished envelopes, so I'll just show you. I think they turn out super cute. They feel so nice. There's something about fabric on paper that's just so, so nice. They're really sturdy. Oops, it stuck that little guy together. So that's one pattern. So I'm going to have these in my Etsy shop in packs of 10. And I've used 10 different types of fabric so that you'll get one of each. Isn't that pretty? So just to show you some of the samples. Where's the next? This one I like because it's got that wood grain pattern on there. See, isn't it pretty? I just love it. And I like that they've just been cut random, like I haven't tried to place the fabric in certain spots. This one's nice with the yellow flowers. Oh, this fabric is so gorgeous. I love this fabric. Look at that. So beautiful. Little bird there. This fabric is what started me making some fabric envelopes, because you've probably seen my raggedy journal that's been sitting there on my shelf for like over 9 months. I think I've shown it before. I thought, oh, I really need to get this journal finished. I haven't finished a journal in forever. And so I thought I would make a few little envelopes. I was going to use this fabric to put in it, because it's going to be kind of a nature themed. And then pulling out that fabric, I just thought, oh my gosh, I've got so much floral fabric. I should make some little packs. This one I really like, just because you can see the writing underneath. And I think I might do some of these with music paper as well. So I still need to give them a little tidy up. You know, like there's some little loose threads here and there. I think they'd look really, really nice in nature themed journals or botanical or floral. Oops. They're pretty. Love how they feel. This fabric's really nice as well. You can see the writing through this one as well. So pretty. Now I sewed them all with dark brown thread, like along the edges, except for this one I used a very pale pink. That's what I had in my machine at the time, so I sewed this fabric first. But I think I much prefer the brown stitching, just because it, I don't know, gives it kind of a border. Whereas this one, you don't really see a border. But then I didn't want to do dark brown on this one because they're just pretty little pink flowers. I don't think it would have gone. So that's the only one I used a different colour thread. What else? Oh, this one. This one, the strip of fabric, I've included the selvage. So I haven't cut that off. So some of them, you can see this one says Chippendale from the Sheridan range. I know a lot of people cut the selvage off, but I don't know. I just think it adds interest. There's one of them that I really like. Where is it? This one. See? It's got the little colour test on there. I just think it's, aren't the flowers so pretty? Yeah, I like it left on. I suppose if that bothers you, you can cover it over with some lace or something. I also tossed up the idea of, should I embellish these with maybe some lace, or I don't know, something, buttons, but I've decided not to, because I just think they look so pretty just exactly how they are. But I mean, you can embellish them however you like, as much or as little as you like. This fabric is flannelette, which, oh, I cannot stand the feel. Honestly, it's like giving me goosebumps and I'm like shivering. I can't stand the feel of cotton balls or flannel or velvet or anything like that. Anyway, so that's my little fabric envelope. So if you'd like a pack, they'll be in my Etsy shop. There's 10 little envelopes in a pack, and each one has different floral fabric. So this is a sample of a pack. So, I mean, you've seen all of them, but I thought I'll put together. Let me move this. I thought I'll just put one of each so you can see exactly what the pack might be. I thought they, not just in journals, I think they'd be cute for like gift cards, to put, you know, gift cards in. Better than those little cardboard. This fabric, hold on, let me show you a different one of this. I love this one. Okay, that's the 10 little envelope. This one is actually, this is off the same fabric. Around the edge of this fabric was a different pattern. So there's this and this. But in the packs I'll be putting these little ones. Because these ones I did a few extra just for myself to put in journals. And I prefer the dark brown look. But these are the ones that'll go in the pack. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching and hanging about and going through the whole video. And those will be in my Etsy shop probably now or sometime shortly after this video. Also, if there is only just one particular pattern that you like, you know, if you don't want a mix of 10, you know, if you say just want 10 of this pattern, yeah, just message me through Etsy and I can always do you a pack special just for you. But otherwise, there'll be mixed packs like this. Okay, that's it, and thanks for watching.